Hello, namaste. This is Candy. I am coming to you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. For those of you who are not in the States, it's just about an hour north of Chicago. And I'm happy that you have chosen to tune in for this inner work process that we're going to be going through today, which is all about identifying and releasing our limiting beliefs. For this practice today, you will need a journal and a pen. And if you have a notebook or something that you're using, you're going to need two separate pieces of paper. So if you if you only have one piece of paper and want to tear it in half, that's fine. But you're going to want them to be two separate pieces. And then also an old piece of clothing. For the limiting beliefs process that we're going to go through today, if you have a piece of clothing that reminds you of that time, you can get that out and keep that close by. I just have a jacket I'm going to use that's easy to put on and off. And we'll be using that later on in our process today. Now, if you've done this process before or something similar, I invite you to just stay with us today and go through it again. This is not a one and done process. Throughout the course of our life, we can adopt different limiting beliefs, and it's really important for us to understand what those are and where we can identify them, process them, heal them, release them, transmute them, and reprogram our minds so those samskaras don't remain. So before we begin here, before we get into the work, just invite you to sit down on your mat, and let's just take a minute to ground ourselves here in presence. So if you can sit in an easy sit position, maybe move your flesh so that you can feel your sits bones on the ground beneath you, your palms down on your knees for more grounding energy. And let's just take a few deep breaths to begin. Deep yogi breaths in through the nose, side out. Again, in through the nose. Big HA, side out. Just keep going, taking those breaths at your own pace. And as you're breathing, feel the ground beneath you, supportive and holding you. Know that no matter what comes up during this exercise, that you are here, you are safe, you are held. Just tap into that safety of knowing that no matter what happens here today, you are safe in this space. You are safe in your body and able to tap into what your ego maybe has been telling you for who knows how long. And you are able to process that today. All right, so with your nervous system feeling settled, let's think about what our intention is for the day, which is to reveal what isn't me, to recognize and heal and release some of the lies that maybe you've adopted and picked up and identified with over the last months or years. The truth is you are pure, you are innocent, you are divine consciousness within this vessel, and your core is bliss and light and joy. And maybe you don't always feel that way, but your innocence is still there. Your innocence is still inside you. Your purity, your truth is still inside of you. And we're going to get to that today. We're going to tap into that today. So I ask you to get out your journal. And I want you to prep on your first page. And across the top, just write lies I was told about myself. And as you start to think about that, some questions you may want to consider are, what are some relationship dynamics that I've had in the course of my life that maybe have left me with some doubts about myself. Maybe that's with a parent or a friend or a best friend, um, or a girlfriend or boyfriend, a partner. Maybe it was a husband or wife that you had. What's coming up for you as you think through that? And maybe it's an institution. Maybe it's an organization that you were a part of that had a strong belief system that caused you to adapt some things into your psyche that weren't necessarily yours. So whatever that is for you, just tap into that and start writing statements that really start with I am. And I know that there was a time in my life where I went through a significant relationship change. And one of the beliefs that I held for myself during that time was I am unworthy. I am unlovable. And those are things that I've really had to work through and process, and not bury, but actually process to release them, to heal them and release them. As those memories come to the surface for you, and just keep on writing whatever's coming up for you, you can just keep on writing, but as they come to the surface, really feel into those memories. And maybe you're thinking about a specific instance or a specific person, and just really try to remember, what did it cause you to take on about yourself? Just write whatever comes up for you. I am, whatever those limiting beliefs might be or might have been. Well, there's some heavy things that are coming up for me as I'm writing, and I want you to just know that you can move your body however you need to as you're going through. I'm feeling a lot of tension. I'm just gonna, roll out my neck a little. If you need to pause it, feel free to pause if you'd like to take some more time to write. As the emotions are coming up for you, just remember that these statements that you're writing right now, even though you might be writing I am, whatever the words are for you, that's not who you are at your core. We're identifying these and exposing these lies so that you can heal them. So just keep that in mind as you're going through. If it's starting to feel heavy, what we're trying to do is really pull our toxins out of our systems and rewire ourselves. If you have tears that come up, it's really okay. Just keep putting it all on the paper. Let it flow from your soul through your pen to your hand to your paper. I've done this many times and on many levels, and as a matter of fact, my book is all about my healing journey and about the inner work that I had to do to really release some of the limiting beliefs that I didn't even know I was carrying. And it took a great deal of stillness to tap into that. So as you look back at your list here, just keep on breathing into it. Add any final thoughts that you might have. And then, wow, just take a look at it. Take a look at what you've been carrying. Take a look at all of those thoughts. that maybe aren't even yours, that you just adopted because somebody else had them for you or gave them to you. Let's take a few more deep cleansing breaths here. Remember, these beliefs, these thoughts, they are not you. You are innocent and you are pure. And don't get lost in what these statements might say. Actually, look at that list and center yourself, ground yourself, come back into that safety and ground yourself in compassion. You might be overwhelmed. Some of the things that I wrote down are, I'm undeserving of good, that I don't deserve nice things, that I'm bad, that I'm sinful. And those are some heavy things that are connected to distinct memories that I have. And to ask yourself, would you say this to anyone? Would you tell that to someone? Would you tell that to a child? Or maybe some of these beliefs that you have, you adopted in your childhood. Are these things that you would say to your own child who's just trying to figure out who he or she is at this point? It's really just center yourself in that compassion again, ground yourself there, and understand that there's no wonder that we've made mistakes in our lives. It's inevitable that things are going to happen. And when we have these limiting beliefs, maybe we set ourselves up in some different patterns with different choices that we made as a result of these thoughts, these patterns. Like these beliefs, they might be from direct statements from people, they might be from advertising campaigns, subliminal things that you took on, might be from religious dogma, or even a direct trauma that happened directly to you. We have to feel it. We have to feel it to heal it. We have to tap into it and not bury it, not bypass it, but really take a look at what these statements are and what they say, and understand where they came from. So let's pause for a minute and recognize these lies are not you. They are not true. The beliefs are broken. The beliefs are wrong. You are not broken, and you are not wrong. Now, that piece of clothing that you bought in the beginning, I want you to grab a hold of it and take it and hold it and look at your list of lies. And I want you to charge up this piece of clothing with those lies and those untruths. Let's take a minute to look at it and feel it as you put it into this list. Now, all the weight and all the energy of those statements is held in the piece of clothing that you've chosen. And I want you to put it on. And take it, put it on, as if you are now wearing those beliefs. As if now you are feeling and carrying all of the energy of those statements on yourself. Ugh. How does it feel? The toxicity of it is almost unbearable. And knowing how heavy it is, how those beliefs, where they came from, just feel it. If you want to walk around with it and really feel it as it's weighing you down. Do whatever feels right for you. And read through your list one last time. And as you're reading that list, just feel the toxicity and the heaviness of it all, the burden that you've been carrying with it as it's on you. And now take it off. Take it off and cast it aside. Be done with it. Be done with it. And feel the shift in your being. Feel the lightness of it and the release of just letting it go. There's a transformation that occurs with that release. And just move your body now and just feel the joy and the freedom. Maybe give yourself a hug. Give yourself a hug to know that you can release it and let it go and still be safe and housed in this moment. Just gonna move a little bit. Feel free to move your body however you'd like to. Just feel the expansiveness of the truth of who you are. Not locked up in the lies of somebody else. And now we're going to move into phase 2 of this process, which is really identifying the truth of who you are. And what you're going to do is look back at that list of lies, and for every lie that's there, write a counter statement. And for example, I am unworthy. You can write, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of good things. I am unlovable. I am pure and divine consciousness, and I come from love, and I am love. You can unpack the layers to any of your statements, and add in the ideal state of what you want, what you want it to look like. For example, I am bad. I'm sinful. I may make mistakes, but I always learn, and I do my best to come from a place of love. Just take a few minutes to write those out. Some examples here. I am joy. I am light. I deserve good things. I deserve compassion. I deserve kindness. You can pause the video if you'd like to take some time to keep writing. And go back and read this new list on this second piece of paper and feel into the energy that you've created here. This list is the truth of who you are. And it feels so much better. It feels like freedom. It feels like joy. And what we want to do now is really supercharge this new list with some breathing techniques. Because in our lives, because of the way that our brains work, the way that we're programmed, the way that we're wired, the ego will try to pull us back to our old limiting beliefs. And we want to create a new pattern, a new thought pattern, to supercharge and power up our list so that we can give our brain something else to hold on to. And so what we're going to do is Kapalabhati breathing, which is a method where we have a regular inhale, and on the exhale, we snap the belly back. So it looks kind of like this. Okay. And we're just going to do that for 1 minute. And feel free to take these breaths while you're reading through in your mind, in your head, what you just wrote as the truth of who you are. And so we will begin our one time. Okay, that part. And exhale. Really feel how that powered up and ignited the truth, ignited that truth of who you are at your core. Now look at your list again, and let's just do some Bastrika breath. And the Bastrika is when you do a forceful inhale and an exhale. And we're just going to do that for about 30 seconds. So it's a little bit slower than the last breath, almost the same, but we're going to just do it a little like forceful inhale and forceful exhale. So it's okay, just for about 30 seconds or so. And again, just read through your list and really feel that power of the truth as you're firing up your breath and energizing and moving all of those new thoughts throughout the energy of your body. And Bastrika, go ahead. And exhale. Now inhale all the air in. Little sip at the top and hold it. Big exhale out. And feel the energy, that positive energy of that new list of the truth of who you are as it circulates throughout your body. Now just move your body however you need to, whatever feels good. Let's take some gentle inhales with our arms up. And exhale, exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And now to end today, let's take a moment to really just ground ourselves, return to that grounding practice, and now ground in the truth of who we are. Safe, still safe and held, and knowing that we are not the limiting beliefs we once held. We threw those aside. Hands down on your knees, close your eyes. Normal breaths, just tap right into those breaths and receive these words. You are whole. You are innocent. You are worthy. You are deserving. You are pure. And you are so very loved. Now as you breathe, Just imagine the roots coming down from every part of you that's touching the floor right now, whether that's the soles of your feet, your sits bones, your thighs. And imagine those roots growing down through the floor, down through the earth, past the bones of our ancestors. And with every breath, those roots grow down further, rooting you in love and joy, and fulfillment, and happiness. With every step that you walk on this earth, know that those roots of love and of truth and the power of your truth go deep. As you sit with these thoughts, I want to share with you some next steps. First of all, keep these lists, the separate lists. You may feel like you want to throw out that list of lies. I'm going to ask you to keep it or retain it for other processes that we might work on in the future. If you want to make a copy of it and do some type of a burn ceremony, a safe burn ceremony, feel free to do that and release it. But we will use that list in the future. And keep your truth statements also. Review that list of truths about yourself in the AM and the PM before you get out of bed, before you go to sleep at night. When wounds kind of kick themselves up, you need to rewire from your old samskaras. Go ahead and review that list. You can make a voice memo of your statements and play it to yourself before you go to bed at night. If something's coming up for you, move your body the way you chose to move it today, or do some of the breathing techniques that we did today to help you remember how we fired up that energy behind those new truths. There's memory in our systems and in the way we move, and the subconscious, it knows from those memories. So go ahead and use some of those techniques to help you tap into those new thought patterns, those new neural pathways that we're creating. And what you can also do is, with those truth statements, create notes on your phone, reminders that come up as affirmations to you throughout the day. And hold on to those. Hold on to those and keep releasing. Feel it to heal it, release the old, and celebrate the new. You are creating your new reality. You're breaking the chains of ancestral DNA and wounds that you may be carrying that really are not yours to carry. So let's celebrate that. Step confidently into your future and keep your truth. Stand in your truth with confidence. Keep that at the forefront of your day and of your being. Thank you for joining me for this inner work process. You deserve a life of joy and fulfillment. And we wish the same joy and fulfillment for all others in their walks in this life. Namaste.